Okay, emergency press conference, halftime. Patriots were down. I don't even know. I'm taping this. I think it's like 20-0. Bills are going in. I'm embarrassed.
This is about the Buffalo Bills, okay? How good they looked. And I see what Hughes is talking about. He's manufacturing a little motivation about the disrespect thing, and I love it. But that defense is legit. Moss, you talk about Hyde and Poyer, Milano underneath. It's a great defense that can take this team all the way.
It is a great defense. And you know what? Jerry Hughes, though, I think you guys are missing it. This is directed at Jerry Sullivan, the guy that came in and was ripping the safeties and all that kind of stuff. And it's deep. Jerry Hughes has probably been there for 10 years and always felt the disrespect. And now he's like, okay, now what are you going to say? So it's been there deep. And the way this team is playing, look, they're number one in the NFL in defense. All right. So, I mean, and they have this great offense. It's about them right now. And are they the favorites right now to win the thing? Yeah. They had the only thing they had to prove to me was that they could stop the run. And you knew New England was going to come in committed to pounding the football. Why? Because in the season we saw New England run it, the Colts run it, and Tennessee run it. All three losses for the Bills. That's the only thing they had to prove, and they proved it last night.
Yeah, it was also good to see them run the ball offensively, like to see Devin Singletary become a major factor in the offense, because quite honestly, that was a missing piece for a good part of the season as well.
And I think that was the biggest question for me, because everybody knew the run designs to Josh Allen. We wanted to see somebody other than Josh Allen run this ball. 174 yards against Belichick's defense. Tackling was a problem last night. You seen Singletary jumping in and out of holes. That was impressive. Yesterday, we talked about the playmakers for the Patriots stepping up. No sacks, no interceptions yesterday. So you say, yes, rightfully so. It is all about the Bills. But, hey, one last thing. We've all sat in the hotel, playing the next day after. I believe the Buffalo Bills did set the bar. They set the standard for the playoffs. Week one of the playoffs, they set the bar. And everybody else looking at them like, they just put up 40-something points on the Patriots. So, it was a good game yesterday. But like I say, kudos to what Josh Allen was able to do. But if there was something that stood out to me, 174 yards on the ground, and all of it was not by Josh Allen.
They closed the book on this whole Patriot mind game thing, too. I mean, this was a playoff win, but this is over the AFC East rival in the Patriots. This is like, you needed an act of Mother Nature, to beat us. That's what we're saying. We went and beat you in your house, and now we beat you when it meant most. We ended your season, and all of these questions now are swirling in that building in Gillette Stadium in terms of we have to draft now. And we have to approach this offseason thinking, how do we beat that team?
How do we
How do we beat that team?
And Josh Allen, because 9 touchdowns, no interceptions for the year for Josh Allen against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Well done. Very well done.
What they did yesterday, that's a one-time thing, right? I don't know how you replicate that going forward. To your point of setting the standard for the playoffs, they might have set the standard a little too high for themselves.
Momentum going into another week.
Yes,
oh, my God.
That is some strong momentum.
Everybody from Belichick all the way down should be embarrassed.
Really nothing he can do right there.
Wow, what a great game that was.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look at this now. Look at this board. Quarterbacks that have thrown for 5 touchdowns in a playoff game with no interceptions and 4 incomplete passes. This is incredible. Kurt, I see you right in the middle there, you and Peyton. And Josh Allen, what a fantastic performance that he put on.
There was some demons exercised yesterday. on both sides, man. Buffalo was like, I'm tired of you guys talking about is it our division or is New England back in it? They wanted to put Michael Myers away for good yesterday. I mean, when you score every time you touch that ball, we want to put you away.
The young quarterbacks that were playing in this moment, could they raise their game and carry their team? And we saw a couple great performances by young quarterbacks yesterday. I mean, obviously, we already talked about Josh Allen.
I thought
incredible.
About you,
is he taking his team and his game to a whole nother level? Because this is what it's about. The legacies are written in the postseason, and he was just incredible carrying his team every step of the way. And then you got Joe Burrow, and you talked about exercising those demons, but I think we all felt Joe Burrow had that killer instinct in him. We've seen him a number of times in different situations, in big moments, and he always raises up in the big moment. Both of those guys did that yesterday. It's probably the thing that I took away more than anything else.
We can't talk about Tom Brady without talking about Bill Belichick. You know how that goes. At least I can. The Bills ran all over Belichick's second-ranked defense in a 47-17 win over the Patriots on Saturday. Buffalo scored on each of its 7 possessions that didn't end with a kneel down. But Belichick said he's not planning to stop coaching as he enters his 70s. But that's a whooping when they're asking you, like, do you still want to coach and you're the GOAT?
Right now, there was no way Mac Jones was going to go into Buffalo and compete with Josh Allen. There was no way they were going to extend their playoff hopes with him as a young quarterback, because once they fall behind and you had to unleash him, that was not going to happen. He's not ready to take the next step at the quarterback spot just yet. In the future, he may be ready to.
Their defense isn't trying. Their offense isn't fucking trying. Maybe Mac Jones is trying, but they all suck.
I still don't think Buffalo is that good. They were that good against New England.
What?
I don't.
Yeah,
I told
wait
you.
a minute.
I told you beforehand.
That's an interesting statement.
Okay, guys. The numbers.
But the bottom line,
don't we
Buffalo
have to,
did revel in doing this.
Sure, but don't we have to address the numbers, though? Don't we have to address the facts?
That's for next week.
No, we're not going to be here next week. We're not going to be here next week.
Here's what Buffalo does. This is a post-game show of the Patriots Bills.
I'm asking,
autopsy on that.
I care because she's saying, she's asking me about Buffalo and New England. That this tells you about New England and Buffalo. Buffalo, the fact that they're not that good and they're able to do that.
They are good, Mike.
They're not, not Mike. Tom, they have beaten 3 playoff teams this year, 2 of them against the Patriots, 2 wins against the Patriots.
They lost to the Jaguars.
They lost. So they got 12 wins, 2 against playoff teams.
I don't want to interrupt, so I'm going to give you but I got to at some point say, you can't watch what they did to the Patriots tonight, what they did to the Patriots in the last meeting, a team that was 9-4, a team that had competed, and say it's not a good team. I mean, we could talk about Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes.
I watched them all year.
We could talk about Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. None of them can do what Josh Allen does. He's a power runner with speed who could play running back. He also throws better than Lamar Jackson, so he runs better than Mahomes. He runs better than Rodgers. He runs better than Brady. He is a complete unicorn. There's no one like him in the NFL. And the Patriots, to resume any kind of chance at having supremacy in the AFC East, have got to find an antidote to him. I think you're overstating it. I got to pin you down. You think they're not good?
I think they played. Yeah. They played playoff teams this year, and they won 2 games against playoff teams.
They just won another one.
But they can't control the schedule. They can't control the schedule.
Yes,
I mean, that's the truth of the matter.
They can't control the schedule.
Team by 30.
But they play playoff teams and they lose to playoff teams.
They just beat one.
I'm not supposed to. Kind of.
So Holly is saying because the Patriots at the bottom of the playoffs, that is not qualifying as beating a good playoff team. Is that basically what you're getting at?
They have 12 wins this year.
Right.
Okay, so the playoff teams they've beaten this year, Kansas City early in the year, and the Patriots twice. That's a fact. So why am I supposed to say, so that's out of those 12 wins, if you get 3 of them against playoff teams, is that good?
And we're the fucking New York Jets now. We're the New York fucking Jets. So, congratulations to the Bills. They're a billion times better than us. The division now goes to Buffalo. And honestly, I hope Bills go win the Super Bowl, but fuck everybody. I'm done with football pretty much for the year, maybe forever.
Let's talk about the display that we saw in round 3 of Pats versus Bills. All Josh Allen, 5 touchdown passes. I believe he's still throwing touchdown passes, Mike Florio, but it was an impressive rout of the Patriots.
It was unprecedented, and of all the teams for it to happen to, the team led by one of the great defensive masterminds in the history of sport, 7 touchdowns, 7 drives, no punts, no field goals, no turnovers. It was touchdowns or kneel downs. That's never happened before, regular season or postseason. It happens to the Patriots. They just stepped into a buzzsaw, and it was just one of those nights, and that's what Bill Belichick said over and over again. They just couldn't keep up with them last night, and it was obvious, and I don't know what the plan was, but they never really got much of a chance to execute it. The Bills were on top of them from the get-go, and I really do think it turned when Micah Hyde made that interception that I thought was a touchdown. When the ball was thrown by Mac Jones, I just thought, well, there's a touchdown. It's going to be 7-7. That play Micah Hyde made really, in my mind, pushed the momentum completely in the Bills' favor, and they never looked back.
Yeah, that was a great play, and that kept things going. But I had to look at this game and said, New England is not great against the run, but they've got a tremendous secondary. Bill Belichick is going to have a scheme for the passing game. When I saw the weather report and single-digit degrees, New England has a chance because they're not going to be able to throw the ball. Josh Allen made every throw. Guys were open, getting open. Every receiver stepped up. Dawson Knox, Gabriel Davis. It was just incredible.
Yeah, best passing defense in the regular season. And I think the Bills proved to us, Mike Florio, what a lot of people in the beginning of the season, they were the sexy pick, like they're going to win a Super Bowl. They showed us very impressive play on the field and defensively, too. The stops that they were able to get on that side of the ball.
And that's what they need. You need balance. You need to hit your groove now. You know, they started the season losing at Pittsburgh, and it confused and flummoxed everyone. Then they were very dominant for 4 straight weeks. They were incredibly dominant. They lost that groove, and it felt like from week 6 up until Saturday night, they were trying to get it back, trying to get it consistently. And they have it for now, but they've been so inconsistent this year. We can't just assume they're going to show up and do it again. But this is the team we expected to see all year from Buffalo.
The Patriots are a joke. And now I know how every other franchise feels when their teams don't try and don't show up and unprepared and just embarrass you on a human level. They're not tackling. They're not running. They're not making plays. They fucking suck. Top to bottom, they fucking suck. Josh Allen, I get it. He's fucking Barry Sanders. Our guys like breaking legs. They're not even trying to tackle.
Josh Allen couldn't have been hotter. You're so annoying. He threw 5 touchdown passes. He led touchdown drives on each of Buffalo's first 7 possessions.
Show him.
As Buffalo becomes the first team in NFL history to go an entire playoff game without a punt, a field goal, or a turnover, a near-perfect performance from Buffalo. The opposite of all those words for the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick's worst postseason loss ever was your final. All right, Nick, you are. I'm going to start with you. Let me ask.
Be strong.
It's going to be your turn soon. Was Buffalo's drubbing of the Patriots more about the Bills' dominance or the Patriots, dare I say, ineptitude? Be kind.
Well, for the majority of America, it's about the Bills. The Bills, they're the best team. They're going to beat the Chiefs. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen's unstoppable. For the majority of America, it's the Bills. But for this show, in this particular moment in time, it's about the Patriots. No matter how well Mac played, you weren't going to win that game. Not when the other team goes rolls 7s, 7 for 7 on touchdowns. I get that. Thank you. But that doesn't mean, they weren't going to win either way. But it didn't mean they were going to get mortified and embarrassed on national television and have real doubt about whether or not they can. Why should anyone ever think they'll be able to compete with the Bills, the next 10 years? I don't know. This is why upside matters with quarterbacks. Because even though Josh Allen's a roller coaster, the ceiling's high. And you had the training wheels on Mac all game. You know what it led to? A guy. Show me the passing chart. Show me McCorkle. Show me McCorkle's passing chart. Guys, I'm no Leslie Frazier, but I think I might be able to defend against that. We don't need to worry about half the field. Show me Mac's numbers, please, when the game was not, totally out of hand. So after it was 33-3, Mac did some good things because the Bills were looking up Jack Stack reservations for their trip to Kansas City.
No, they weren't.
But up until then, Wilds, he was as bad as you can be. So you're in a really rough spot for a team that once upon a time was the 1 seed, had the baby goat, nobody wanted to play. Oh, here's the thing about the Patriots. We can beat you any type of way. No, it turns out actually you can't beat any good teams any type of way unless there is a windstorm. It's the only way. The only way the Pats all year beat any good teams was either the Titans have all their players injured or the Bills have the gods deign it to be with the weather. Team stunk all year. Tried to tell you.
Okay.
And this is what happens, my friend. Sorry.
Playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So were the Steelers.
Just too far. All right, I feel like a referee breaking up a clinch. All right, I'm getting in the middle, breaking up this clinch. But, Nick, you went too far. Of course, we all knew you would today. I'm going to give the Bills some credit. Because while you're absolutely right, this is not on Mac Jones, all right? Mac didn't play great. He's a rookie in his first playoff game.
He was terrible.
All right, did you expect him to go out there and light it up against one of the best defenses in the league? I mean, come on. He wasn't terrible. The first interception, which did help set a tone, right? That was a nice pass. Now, He could have thrown it to the back shoulder. We'll see it. He could have thrown it to the back shoulder.
It was a great play.
All right, but still, it wasn't a bad pass. Micah Hyde made a tremendous.
He got picked off.
Look at this. The pass is nice. It's right there. Micah made a great interception. Could he have gone to the back shoulder? Yeah, but I'm not going to kill him for that pass. All right, look, it boils down to this, Nick. The Bills are simply the better football team, period. Now, are they 30 points better? No. So you can put that on the Patriots, and Belichick, as Wild said, because the defense just got manhandled. Okay. But this is about the Bills' dominance, and I know Nick doesn't want, and I picked the Chiefs too, but Nick doesn't want to consider that Buffalo, which beat the Chiefs in Week 5 by almost 20 points, is coming.
I'm considering it.
All right, they are coming, and they look good this weekend. So
and
now,
the whole world's going to pick
them. Here's the thing: they have essentially owned the Patriots for the last 2 years. This is the 5th game between them. Yeah. They've won 4. To your point, Nick, the only one they lost was in that crazy windstorm. And I said last week, Josh Allen, for all Belichick's genius, Josh Allen has him figured out. Yeah. Because this is the 3rd time in 4 games that Allen's thrown for 300-plus yards. And in those games, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. Then he ran the ball well. So I'm going to give the credit to the Bills. And I'm not killing Mac Jones. He's a rookie. We grade him on the curve. Okay. He didn't play that poorly.
No,
the defense and the coaching, Nick, was way worse than Mac Jones.
Can we please show the numbers again when the game was a game? He had a passer rating of 40, 100 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks before it was a 30-point deficit. Did Big Ben play well yesterday? Because he got some garbage time numbers too. I'm sure we're not going to talk about that game because we can only do so many segments where I was exactly right about everything. I understand Jenna mentioned it on the broadcast. They did say that was a perfect pass by Mac Jones. Yes, in 11-on-0, but if there's a defense out there and it gets intercepted, I'm going to go ahead and say it wasn't perfect. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it was literally the worst thing he could have done on the play.
Fuck everybody on this team. Embarrassing. I'm embarrassed with the fucking New York Jets. Fucking joke.